Hey guys, my name is Patricia and I'm here to talk to you about veterans. Now, are you guys ready to make a change? Well, what do veterans do for us? Veterans make the ultimate contribution to society by putting their lives on the line for our country and our nation. Now, I'm just going to tell you guys a couple of facts. Did you guys know that CBS News reports that 720,000 veterans are unemployed across the nation? According to the Department of Housing and Labor Development, 1 out of 7 homeless people are veterans. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, 18 veterans commit suicide a day. Now, I'm going to take my calculator and times 18 veterans a day that commit suicide by 365 days of the year, and that equals 6,570 veterans that commit suicide in just 1 year. Now, that's a very big number. Now, why should we care? Why should we even pay mind to the situation? Well, some of you have friends and family that are in the military or that are veterans. And if you don't, it's still very important to know how the military works because it is so crucial to how we function as a nation. And it's just very good to have some type of knowledge of how the whole veteran thing works, about how the benefits work, and about the reality versus what everybody really thinks, that suspects how veterans live life or whatever. And I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit into the presentation. So, what is the main issue? Why am I here talking to you guys today? Well, I feel as if our nation needs to develop more resources for veterans and pay more attention to their issues because that's something that we don't do. We just ask for them to go to war or whatever, but we don't give them enough as rewards. Something that you guys might not be familiar with is the Veterans Bill. In 2014, the Senate Republican blocked a benefits bill that would have expanded federal health care and education programs for veterans. Republicans claim that veterans were not worth the cost of the federal budget. They believed that the bill was too expensive and that reducing the national debt was more important. And honestly, I feel as if that's kind of ridiculous because at the time when the Iraq and the Afghanistan war was going on, they didn't think about the national debt. They just, said, let's send these veterans to war. They didn't think about the national debt at that moment. So why, when you should be giving them money, is when you should be distributing money to veterans who help this country or whatever? Why didn't you think about why did you have to think about the national debt at that moment? Why couldn't you think about it before when they were at war or whatever? This country is the kind of country that takes but doesn't want to give. So there's a lot of misconceptions. I know that's one of the biggest problems of people. I know that that's one of the biggest reasons that people don't want to contribute to veterans charities and stuff, because they feel as if veterans come back from the war and they just lay down in their bed and they have money thrown to their faces. They feel as if they've received all these benefits and it's not fair for us to benefit them even more. Now, let me enlighten you guys a little bit. 2 years ago, the House of Republicans attempted to cut the food assistance for 170,000 veterans and their families. And it takes about 2 years for any treatment or medical compensation or medical problems to be dealt with. Now, imagine, coming back from the war, having a broken leg and having to wait about 2 years to get your leg fixed, because that's how the whole process for the veterans medical care or whatever works as. They have to resort to the point to having to waste their own money on medical treatment because they can't wait 2 years to have their problem fixed. And some people don't even have that money to get it done themselves because they don't have jobs due to like the disorders that they go through, like PTSD and MST. So it's very harsh for veterans to get these benefits. Also, another benefit that they're supposed to receive, if you've been in the military for 20 years or more, you're supposed to get free college education for your children. And there's a story of a man who has 2 children already, and one of them is already in his second year of college, and yet to this year he has not received a penny for his college tuition. So that's every 2 years. He hasn't received anything. Just think about it. The benefits that veterans are supposed to get, they don't even really in reality get them half of the time. They're lucky if they do, and sometimes they do. It just takes a while, but during the meantime, how are they supposed to survive? How are they supposed to manage without, money, a house, or medical benefits? It's really hard. And all I'm here to tell you guys is that the only way that we can solve this, the solution to this problem, is awareness. And I think that that's something that our country really lacks. We all just want to think one way. Just think of the way that veterans work. They go to war and that's their job. They come back from the war, they get a bunch of veterans benefits. They just chill in the house. They don't even have to work. They're good. They're set for life. But honestly, it's not that way. You can't, everything that you believe is, be aware, because things that you think are, things aren't always as they seem. That's what I'm trying to say, in other words. The biggest thing that we have to do is, everyone should just make it their responsibility to know a little bit more, to have knowledge of how the military works, how veterans work. It's just awareness. That's what we're asking. And I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit more statistics. So the age, the most, like 62 and up, is mostly what are homeless veterans. Homeless veterans are mostly 62 years and up. So, and the youngest, 18 to 30. We have 13% of homeless adults that are veterans. We have 92% of homeless veterans that are men. We have 1 in 9 veterans living in poverty, and we have over half of homeless veterans that are disabled. That's crazy. We have 8.3 women veterans that are unemployed, 6.9 male veterans that are unemployed, 22% of veterans suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, 34% suffer from mental concerns, and 1 out of 3 seek help. It's crazy how, it's just crazy. All I can do is ask for your help, for your support, and thank you very much for listening and watching.